Have you ever wanted to repaint your guitar but you have no tool, no experience and are afraid of destroying your guitar? So in this video, I'm going to reveal step by step a new and really easy method I found to refinish your guitar even if you have no equipment and no experience. And a big bonus, it's quite cheap. Yeah, I know, seems too good to be true, right? I felt the same at the beginning. But trust me, I'm going to prove it, so stay with me. So maybe you already know this, but painting a guitar is really hard. It requires a lot of work, patience, preciseness and sanding. Yeah, you need a lot of sandpaper, from 320 grit to 4000 grit. Also you need polish foam, polish compound and so on. But you know what? With this method we don't need any of this. In a previous video I made a Telecaster offset like, and I completely screwed up the finish process. And I've started the entire guitar from scratch all over again. So I have this guitar left. But I have proposed to give this guitar away to a random person who bought something from my store. And you were 5 people to buy something, so thank you very much for your support. And I have a winner, but I feel bad sending this guitar to subscriber in this condition. So after talking to the winner, I offered him to repaint the guitar. He was okay and chose to keep the same color. And I'm going to repaint this guitar using this awesome method. Okay, the first thing, I assume you are repainting a guitar. So you already have a guitar with a finish on it. You just want to repaint it. If you just have a raw wood body, it will require a bit more preparation. But later you can join us in the process using this method, so don't go away. The first step, after removing the hardware of course, is to sand the guitar. And I'm telling you right away, after this there is no turning back. So watch the entire video to see if the result is okay for you before beginning. If you have a sander you can use it, but if you don't have one, you can do it by hand, because we're only going to scratch this surface. We don't need to go back to the raw wood. We will use the existing finish as a hard base and a wood filler for the new paint. So take your sandpaper, I recommend something like 220 grit to 320 grit, and go easy. Take your time, don't press too hard, especially if you have a sander. If you're doing it by hand, I recommend using a small flat piece to use it as a sanding pad. Be sure to go everywhere, even the curves and the horns on the guitar. It's not the easiest, but take your time. If you have one, wear a mask or go outside to protect your lungs. Okay, so once that is done, you should have a guitar that has been matte finished by sanding, but it's filled with dust. So we're going to take a microfiber cloth and acetone. This will remove the dust and degrease the guitar for the next step. Okay, great! What's next? Painting? Well, no. We need to mask the neck pocket using masking tape. This is very important. If you don't do it, you will create an additional thickness and the neck might not fit anymore. Okay, it's okay this time, we can paint. Well, before that, we need something to hold the guitar while painting. What I recommend using is, for example, a block that you will put in the neck pocket and screw it from the back, where the neck plate is normally. Add a hook to the end and this way you can hang your guitar from the ceiling. Otherwise, another method. I use the round curtain rod, which allows me to lock the guitar horizontally in an expensive bicycle work stand. And if your guitar is not a bolt-on but a set neck, you can hang it by the headstock, but make sure to protect the neck and the fretboard while painting. Okay, now we're ready to paint. And here's our first secret weapon. We're going to use spray cans from the Molotov Flame Orange brand. That works with Belton spray cans too, because it's the same company. These are graffiti spray cans. I don't know what they put in it, but compared to the other brands I've tried, they always manage to unify and have a gorgeous texture on the paint. It's always a pleasure to use them, and they have a lot of color choices. Finally, I recommend to use high pressure caps on the spray can. Sure, you will have a little loss, but it will allow you to cover a larger surface, and so move the hand back from the guitar and have less chance to making runs. Molotov Flame Orange are already equipped with these caps. Obviously, it's not a sponsored video because my channel is very small. I really recommend using this product. Also, I know it's not easy, but try to spray in an environment without dust and not a rainy day. And finally, even if you do it outside, wear a mask. Okay, the first layer. Do it slowly. We're not trying to cover the entire guitar in one layer. This one will help the paint to adhere to the guitar. Always start outside the guitar and finish outside the guitar. Don't stay on the guitar during painting, or you will get runs and drips. Don't go too fast, but not too slowly either. You see, I go light on the first layer. Okay, now you have to wait 10 or 15 minutes. It's really important to not have drips. and then you can start again. This time it's best to make a pass in the opposite direction of the first pass. I went horizontally, this time I'm going vertically. I alternate for each layer, and we will repeat as many times as necessary for the guitar to be completely covered. In my case, 4 times. If you ever get around, stop everything immediately. Don't touch anything anymore. And please, don't try to remove it with your finger. You will just make it worse. I know it's very frustrating, but believe me, I've tried everything and it's always a disaster. The best thing to do is to stop right away. Wait for it to dry, send the mistake, and go back for painting. Okay, with that, the painting is done. I hang the guitar and I let it dry for 1, 2 or even 3 days. Let's see the guitar 3 days later and look at the texture of the guitar. Nice and homogeneous. That is exactly what we want. If that's not your case, maybe you put too much paint on it at once or not enough, and you will have to redo a layer of paint. Even if it's dry, don't touch the guitar, because your fingers are dusty and full of grease. Because yes, we're not going to touch the paint again. We're not going to sand it or using acetone. That's what you need to know with graffiti paint. It's extremely fragile and they don't like sanding at all. So don't touch anything, and we are moving to the next step, the clear coat. I'm taking a few seconds to thank you all for subscribing to this channel. Thanks to you, we've managed to pass the 1000 subscribers milestone, and I'm really happy about that. So thank you very much. Unfortunately, I'm still far from the 4000 public watch hours needed to monetize my videos. So if you want to help me, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and please share this video as much as possible and leave a like to please the algorithm. Thank you. For this step, we're going to use a 2K polyurethane clear coat. I use the Spraymax brand because we can find it everywhere and it works very well with this method. However, it's very important to use the matte finish. That's our second secret weapon. We're going to clear coat the guitar in matte, because the matte finish is really forgiving. With a glossy finish, we will see any defects because of the reflections, and you will have to spend a lot of time sanding and polishing the clear coat. And with this method, after spraying the matte clear coat, we won't have anything else to do. That's why this method is really cool for beginners. However, 2 very important things. First, try to spray in a clean environment, because when we are spraying the clear coat, we are going to encapsulate everything. Dust, hair, flies. And 2K polyurethane is extremely toxic and dangerous. It's very bad for your lungs and your health. So please, wear a mask and gloves during the spraying. Ideally, a mask with cartridge, and try to ventilate the space as much as possible. To use this clear coat, you need to check the can first. Then we're going to remove the red caps on top. Place it under the can and hit the spray can. This will release a second cartridge inside the can, and then you will need to shake it again for like 2 minutes. To make sure you've broken the second cartridge, normally you can spread this small thing quite easily with a finger. From the moment you've released the second cartridge, your spray can only be used for 1 or 2 days maximum, because you just released the catalyzer in the can, which will make the clear coat harder and dry more easily. And then the method to apply the clear coat will be the same as for painting. Take your time. Make small and light layers one by one, with 10 or 20 minutes of pause between each layers. Be sure to not put too much clear coat on one pass. Make sure you've put clear coat everywhere and cover the paint on the entire guitar. Once that is done, hang your guitar and let it dry for at least 3 or 4 days. And then you're done. It's finished. That's the beauty of this method. Normally, if everything went well, your guitar should have a great finish with a fairly textured surface like this. This textured finish is what we call a orange peel. The clear coat retracts on itself. That's why in a high gloss finish it would be considered as a defect. However, with this matte finish it's completely different. It's a lot much softer and I think it gives it a cool and distinctive look. But what about you? Tell me in the comments. And if you want a smoother surface, you just have to sand it gently and respray again and again. Weather also play a role. Humidity and temperature are crucial. Dry and warm weather days like in springs are much better for spraying because the varnish sets better. In my case, I did it in winter, which is not ideal because of the cold weather. You can now reassemble your guitar, look at your work, and be proud of yourself. And I said at the beginning that it was quite cheap, but how much did it cost me? Well, if I consider the same paper, the paint and the clear coat, it's around 40 euros. I think it's not bad, hard to go cheaper. And if you don't like the matte finish, or if you want to go further in the paintwork, watch this video that will show you how to make a sparkling guitar finish only with spray cans. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Thank you and see you soon.